Okay, I just finished watching this movie, and right now I'm not sure the names because it's saved very weirdly on my laptop. This movie is what I hope MaSTAR would be. I heard all the hype, all the banter and everything about what MaSTAR was supposed to be, and I read it. I read MaSTAR. What did I think? I don't know why it received so much. Why is it sitting at number 5 on now? Why? I mean, yes, if it's about reading it to the finish and thinking about it, I read it to the finish and I thought about it. I thought hard about it. Like, yo, what is everyone in that manga smoking? And why is that? Why are they all chasing this one guy? The old character of Johan Liebert, he's definitely complex, very complex. But there's this Johan syndrome that's just affecting everybody in the manga. And honestly, the ending was kind of lackluster, very lackluster. Like, after I finished, I was like, wait, this is all? This is everything? Seriously? I mean, the writing, 10 out of 10. But the finish, no, they have that to me. And I just finished watching this movie, The Rogue Agent. I'm not really sure what year it came out, but this movie is really what I hoped MaSTAR would be. Whenever someone thinks about the character of Johan Liebert, they always imagine this cunning, manipulative, very stoic figure, but that's not it at all. And this movie really honed into that mindset of what it really means to be a psychopath. And I really got that. There's this frame in MaSTAR where they're about to catch him. He's posing as a university student and they're just finished killing some guy. And he, like, after smiling with his friends, looking around the field, walking around, interacting with people, he gets home to his dorm. He opens the door and you can see his room. It's absolutely barren. And you just think, what is he about to do? That's it. I don't know why, but that scene right there was just bone chilling to me. Like, yo, this is what this guy does. When you say obsessive, yeah, that's a psychopath right there. And this movie also had that same kind of feel. We are introduced to this character, Robert Freeman, or Freeguard, sorry, not Freeman. That'd be nice if Freeman was the one doing the movie, but no, he wasn't. Okay, so this Robert Freeman, we are introduced into his tale as he comes for a job interview, and while he is talking, there's this overlay of this woman saying that during some spy investigations, there's this tip that you have in order to gain someone's trust. You have to look into their eyes just long enough so that you can know what color it is. From that point on, just that contact, just small contact, makes us feel a certain type of way, favorable towards the person that did it. He gets a job at a local bar next to a big university, and later we will find out that he is this so-called spy working for the government, MI5, British intelligence, and he's trying to recruit more people for the screening that's going to happen in a few years' time. At least that's what he tells this couple of people. This is our cast right here. And from here, we get to see that something isn't adding up. We think, it's just the beginning of the movie. It's not supposed to add up to anything yet. And as the movie goes on, we see as he gives them these directives, these plans, these ideas, he implants them in their minds. And from there, we just move, we just skip past, and a few years fly by and we see him in this big office. He's this new salesman or something, and he's pitching ideas to people, which is very interesting considering what we will find out later. There's this woman that walks by his office every day. He looks at her, and this one day she comes back after having a rough drinking session with her bosses, and she just isn't feeling it, and she just cusses this guy out straight, and he just laughs it off. You think, what a swell guy. He just laughs it off. I wish I was like him. But no, later next day she meets him to apologize for what she did the previous day, and from there my mind just started blinking. Me, I'm not a novice to all this manipulative stuff and all that, but yeah, I saw this from a mile away. I watch as this guy just slips right into the cracks of her mind and implants himself there. From that first moment, I can't help but think how calculated he must have been. First, after she apologized to him, he kind of takes off the ease off of her, like, oh no, it's my fault, I'm sorry. And from there, he offers her a ride. Why? Well, she agrees to it because he's very, very pushy about it. And when you get there, he kind of offers her on a date, you know, as she's a pretty woman, so he's really pushy about that too. And eventually she just agrees. So you can see the link in between there, like he's pushing for her to drive her to work, she agrees. That's just a small something. On the day of the date, she dolls herself up, looking mighty fine for a dude. He doesn't show up. From right there, I understood straight away this guy means no good. Next time we hear from him, he calls her up roughly around 24 hours because she got off work around 8. Around the time she got off work, he calls her straight away like he knew she was back, and he probably did since he was outside her house. And he tells her he was sorry, this sob story about how his dad wasn't feeling fine, just pulling on your heartstrings. And then she invites him in. They have a dinner, they talk a little bit, the banter. Right when it was about to get to the climax, abruptly he switches off. Says he has to go, he's out the door. And in my mind, and in her mind, we're thinking, what the fuck just happened? And that's all part of the plan. From there, she was hooked. Eventually, we see what kind of person he is. You know he's a bad guy, but you just want to see more of him on screen because he's so interesting. And if I feel that way and I know what he's doing, how would someone that doesn't know and interacting with him face to face feel about it? That scares me. So later on, we see that he is still running this whole MI5 recruitment with those college students he dragged from way back, and they're older now. He's dealing with Sophia now, but why is there only one? We'll answer that in a while. Later we learn that there is no MI5 registration. It's all fake. The smoke screen is everywhere and you can't even tell which side is straight anymore. And that's how the characters feel. And that eventually leads to the climax of the movie where there's this whole big happy ending where they catch him and everything. But even then, he's still finding a way to get out. And once I finished this, I was thinking, gosh, this is the character I wanted Johan Liebert to be. This is what I wanted to learn from reading Monster. This manipulation that is not so verbal. And that just led me back to what he says earlier in the movie, and one of the characters says, everyone has this dream they want to be sold, this dream of freedom, and somehow some people can find a way to sell that to you. In Monster, it turned out that this Johan Liebert had a way that he was talking to, or he was relating to people, or that he knew people that would bring out the monster in them so he can use them for his evil deeds. And here, he knew how to bring out the fantasy in people, the smoke screen that would blind their own eyes and just allow him to move their limbs for them. They don't think for themselves, nothing happens. That's what I really wanted to talk about. So yeah, Monster was kind of a disappointment to me. I usually don't do movie reviews, but this just got me thinking about Monster for some reason. Not for some reason, you already know the reason. But anyhow, that's all I have to say. Roll the outro.